Hello students, how are you? I hope you all are fine. So today what we will do? Today we will start our chapter motion. Okay, it's the first chapter of your physics. So it's a very important chapter because there will be numericals from this chapter and it is very easy to score in numericals rather than in theoretical portion. Okay, so first of all we should know what is motion. Okay, actually in daily life we are surrounded with motion everywhere. Let us take, when you are talking there is motion of your body. When you ride a bicycle there is again a motion involved. Even in our body there is continuous flow of blood, which means blood is in motion every time. So we are surrounded with motion every time. So let us define what is motion. Okay, so motion is, a body is said to be in motion when its position changes continuously with respect to a reference point. Okay, so what is motion? A body is said to be in motion when its position changes continuously with respect to time. Okay, लेट एग्जाम्पल्स आर स्विंग. मेले में झूला झूलते हैं ना, वहाँ पे भी क्या होता है, मोशन होता है आपकी बॉडी का. ओके, लेट अस टेक पेंडुलम ऑफ अ क्लॉक, इट मूव्स कंटिन्यूसली, देयर इज ऑल्सो मोशन. एंड इवन इन आवर वॉच देयर इज मोशन ऑफ आवर सेकंड हैंड or minute hand or hour hand. Okay, so these are few examples of motion, but in our daily life we can see many examples. Okay, so now let us take two terms which we'll be discussing. These are again important terms in the prospect of this chapter. These are distance and displacement. Okay, so first of all, what is distance? Actually distance is the total path length covered in any direction. Okay, it doesn't depend on the direction, it actually depends on the total path covered. Okay, so the distance traveled by a body is actual length of the path covered by moving body irrespective of the direction in which the body travels. Okay, it doesn't depend on the direction, it actually depends only how much distance a particular body has traveled it in any direction. Okay, so now there is another term called displacement. What is displacement? Okay, let us read it. When a body moves from one point to another, the shortest distance between the initial position and final position of the body is known as its displacement. Okay, actually displacement is the shortest distance between the initial point and final point, or we can say that initial position or final position of a body. Suppose you started from this point. Okay, now you moved like this, again you move this, and again you move this way. So suppose this is A is your initial position and this is B is your final position. So what is displacement? Displacement is the shortest distance between initial and final point. So this is your initial point, this is your final point, so the shortest distance will be this. So this AB will be the displacement. Okay, I think you got it. Let us take another example, it will be covered, it will be easy to understand. Okay, suppose this is a path. Okay, I have marked distances in kilometer. This is 0, 5, 10, like this I have marked, and some positions like O, C, B and A I have also marked them. Now so these are the path OB, OA, and we have to write the corresponding distance and displacement. Okay, so let us take path OB. OB means from O to B. So distance will be the total path length, it will be means 35, and displacement will be O to B means initial point is this and final point is this, so displacement will be 35 again. So there is no change in distance and displacement here, both are same. Let us take point A, OA. Path length is OA, so O to A. So here again the distance is 60 and displacement is again here O to A is 60. Here also they are same. Now consider the path O to A and then B, means O to A and then B. So final position is B, initial position is A. First of all we will calculate what is the distance traveled. So first of all O to A, it is 60, and A to B, it is 25. So 60 plus 25 is 85. So distance will be 85. But what is displacement? Displacement is shortest distance between initial and final point. So your initial point is this, your final point is this. So the distance between this is only 35. So displacement will be only 35. So this is your displacement. Now consider a path O to A to C. O to A and then C. Okay? So here again the distance will be O to A first 60, then A to C it is 35. So 60 plus 35 is 95. So distance will be 95. But what is the displacement? Here it is initial point, here it is final point. So the shortest distance between them is 25. So displacement will be 25. Okay, clear? Now let us take another point. O to A to B to C to O. Means O to A, then B, then C, then O. Means you started from this point and you reached this point. So total first of all we will calculate distance. Distance will be 60 this and 60 this. So total distance will be 120. But displacement will be distance between initial and final point. So your starting point is here, your final point is here. So your displacement is what? 0. So this is one of the important point. Okay. It means we can see that distance can never be 0, but displacement can be 0. When displacement will be 0? When initial and final positions are same. Clear? Okay, let us take circular track example. Okay, here you are at point A. Okay, you moved around a circular path and you reached again here at A point. So what will be the distance traveled? Distance traveled will be circumference. So what is the circumference? What is the circumference of the circular path? It will be 2 pi r. Okay, so distance traveled will be 2 pi r, and displacement will be, your initial point is this, your final point is this, so displacement will be 0. Okay, so now we will see some important points. Okay, first of all, distance is a scalar quantity because it has magnitude only. Okay, correct. And but displacement is a vector quantity because it has magnitude as well as direction also. Okay, now the distance traveled by a moving body cannot be 0, but the final displacement of moving body can be 0. This we have proved in above example, that distance can't be 0 but displacement can be 0 when initial and final position of the objects are same. Clear? Now we will consider some another terms. What are uniform motion? Okay, so what we will see, uniform motion and non-uniform motion. Okay, so first of all we will discuss about uniform motion. So what is uniform motion? A body has a uniform motion when actually it travels equal distances in equal intervals of time. Means if it's a body covers equal distances in equal interval of time. Now suppose we say a car is moving with a speed of 10 meters per second. Continuously it is moving with a 10 meter per second. So we can say that okay, it is in uniform motion. So now when we will draw distance time graph, it will be a straight line like this. Okay, this we will study in later portion. What does it looks like? Okay, so distance time graph of a uniform motion is a straight line. So similarly, what it will be non-uniform motion? A body has a non-uniform motion if it travels unequal distances in an equal interval of time. So suppose I will take you example on again uniform motion. Suppose in first 10 seconds a body moves 10 meter. Again in next 10 seconds a body moves 10 meter. In next 10 seconds it moves 10 meter. So it is moving equal distances in equal interval of time. So we can say that it is in uniform motion. And what is non-uniform motion? Suppose if in first 10 seconds a body moves 10 meter, in again next 10 seconds it moves 15 meter, in next 10 seconds if it moves 20 meter, so it is actually non-uniform. So therefore it will be in non-uniform motion. So few examples of non-uniform motion are, if we drop a ball from our roof, then the distance covered by the ball will be different in different seconds of time. Actually what happens when we drop a ball, its velocity continuously increases. So initially the distance covered by the body will be less, and as it reaches bottom its velocity continuously increases, so the distance covered by it also increases. So the distance time graph of a non-uniform motion will be like this. It will be like parabolic shape, okay, curved line, okay. So this is the distance time graph of a body in non-uniform motion. I hope आपको ये समझ में आया होगा, okay. So now a motion of a body can be described by three terms: speed, velocity and acceleration, and we will be discussing each of them one by one, okay. First of all we will discuss what is speed, okay. So suppose let us take a car is running slow, then what we will say? We can say that okay, its speed is very low. If we see a car and it is running fast, then we will say its speed is very high. So basically स्पीड से हमें पता क्या लगता है? स्पीड एक्चुअली गिव्स अस आइडिया हाउ फास्ट और हाउ स्लो अ बॉडी इज मूविंग, ओके. सो स्पीड गिव्स अस आइडिया अबाउट हाउ फास्ट और स्लो अ बॉडी इज मूविंग. सो स्पीड को डिफाइन कैसे करेंगे? सो स्पीड इज डिफाइंड एज फॉलोज. सो स्पीड इज नथिंग बट सिंपली अ रेशियो. सो स्पीड इज सिंपली डिस्टेंस ट्रेवल्ड अपॉन टाइम टेकन. सो what it is? It is simply distance traveled on time taken. Speed of a body is distance traveled by it per unit time, okay. So speed is ratio of distance traveled upon time taken. So we can write it as, suppose v is your speed, s is distance and t is time taken. So we can write it as v equal to s upon t. So in short form it can be written as like this, okay. Now now we will see SI unit of distance, okay. So SI unit of distance is meter and time is second. Look, what is speed? First of all, see what is speed. Speed is ratio of distance upon time. So the SI unit of distance is meter and SI unit of time is second. So therefore unit of speed will be meter per second. Clear? So speed is meter per second. Other units are centimeter per second or kilometer per hour. This is smaller unit, smaller than meter per second, and this is bigger than kilometer per hour. If speeds are very high, we generally measure speeds in kilometer per hour, okay. Now speed actually is a scalar quantity because it has magnitude only. So speed has magnitude only. Now speed of a running car. Now generally in our car what we see, a circular meter is there. It continuously shows us speeds. So that is known as speedometer. So the instrument which continuously shows us speed is known as speedometer, and it gives us speed in kilometer per hour, okay. So in car there is another meter which gives us distance also. So that is known as odometer, okay. So what is odometer? Odometer is the device which gives us distance and it measures distance in kilometer, okay. Now actually what happens, suppose we are riding a vehicle, then actually continuously its speed changes. It can never be constant because there may be breakers, there may be traffic. So actually its speed continuously varies. So instead of defining speed, हम क्या define करते हैं? एवरेज स्पीड. एवरेज स्पीड एक्चुअली क्या करता है? किसी टाइम इंटरवल में स्पीड देता है हमें. इट डजंट गिव्स अ स्पीड अबाउट एनी पर्टिकुलर इंस्टेंट. इट गिव्स अस स्पीड फॉर पर्टिकुलर टाइम इंटरवल, ओके. सपोज व्हाट हैपन्स, जब हम किसी ट्रैफिक में चल रहे हैं तो क्या होता है कि कभी स्पीड 10 मीटर पर सेकंड होती है, कभी 20 होती है, कभी 30 होती है. देन अगेन सम ब्रेकर कम्स, it reduces to 20 meter per second. So actually speed is never constant. That's why we define a term average speed. So average speed of a body is the total distance traveled divided by the total time taken to cover this distance. This is what average speed is, okay. Now we will define what is uniform speed or constant speed. So a body has a uniform speed if it travels equal distances in equal interval of time, okay. So what, when we will say a body has a uniform speed, a body has a uniform speed जब उसमें इक्वल डिस्टेंसेस में वो इक्वल टाइम इंटरवल्स में इक्वल डिस्टेंसेस कवर करती है, ठीक है. नाउ वी विल सी सम एग्जांपल्स. सो लेट अस टेक अ लुक एट this example. Now read it. Now whenever you want to copy, actually what you can do, you can pause the video and note it down. Okay, so I'll be giving sufficient time. Now question 1. A scooterist covers a distance of 3 kilometers in 5 minutes. What is given to you? A scooterist covers a distance of 3 kilometers in 5 minutes. Calculate his speed in centimeter per second, meter per second, and third one kilo. Actually this is a simple problem, but why I covered this? Because it gives an idea about how to convert in units actually. ठीक है, आपको यूनिट कन्वर्जन आना चाहिए एंड इट इज़ वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट. यू शुड नो व्हाट यूनिट आई हैव टू यूज एंड व्हेन टू यूज. ओके, सो नाउ this you have given distance in kilometers and time in minutes. Okay, so and now you want speed in centimeter per second, so it means your distance should be in centimeter and your time will be in second. So okay, now distance given to you is 3 kilometer. Okay, so first of all what I do, I will convert it into meter. So to convert kilometer into meter, I should multiply with 100. So now I got 3 into 1000 meter. Now again I want to convert it into centimeter. So what I will do? I will multiply with 100. So this will give you speed in centimeter. So sorry, this will give you distance in centimeter. So this is your distance traveled in centimeter. Now what is given? Time taken. Time taken is 5 minutes. But you are supposed to convert time in seconds because speed should be in centimeter per second. So in order to convert minutes into second, what we'll do? We'll multiply with 60. Okay, so this will give you seconds. So 5 into 60 seconds. So this will give you 300 seconds. Okay, so now it is simple. Now what you want? Speed. So speed will be distance traveled upon time taken. Now you have calculated distance in centimeter, time in second, so your speed will be in centimeter per second. Simple. So distance will be 300,000 upon 300. Speed will be in centimeter per second. So this will give you, sorry, it is 300. 20 will cancel 2 zeros. So it will become 1000 centimeter per second. Okay, so speed is 1000 centimeter per second. So this is what you have calculated. Now let us take second case. Okay, here what you have to do, you have to calculate speed in meter per second. So distance should be in meter and time should be in second. So distance traveled is 3 kilometer is given to you. So in order to convert it into meter, what we'll do? We'll multiply it with 1000. So this will give you 3000 meter. Okay, now time taken is given to you in minutes. Okay, so time taken is given to you in 5 minutes. Okay, so in order to convert it into seconds, what you will do? You will multiply it with 60. So 5 into 60 seconds. This will give you 300 seconds. Okay, now what you have to do? Simply you have to calculate speed. So speed will simply the ratio of distance traveled upon time taken. So distance traveled is 3000 meter or time taken is 300 second. So your speed will be in meter per second. So this will give you 10 meter per second. So this is your answer for second part. Okay, now come to third part. Okay, third part is you have to calculate speed in kilometer per hour. Okay, so distance traveled is given to you. It is given to you in kilometer already. So it is 3 kilometer. So no need to change it. Okay, now you have to convert time taken. Time taken is given to you actually 5 minutes, but you should convert time in hour. Why? Because you have to calculate speed in kilometer per hour. So distance should be in kilometer and time should be in hour. So we are given time 5 minutes. So in order to convert it into hours, what we'll do, in order to convert minute into hour, we should multiply it with 6. We should multiply time. We should divide time with 60. So this will give you in time in hour. So when you divide with 60, it will give you time in hour. Okay. So this will give you 5 upon 60 hour. Now simply speed. Speed will be distance traveled upon time taken. Okay. So distance traveled is 3 and time taken is 5 upon 60. So this will give you 3 into 60 upon 5. So this will be cancelled 12 times. So this will give you 12 3 are 36. So it will give you 36 kilometer per hour. Okay, clear? So this is your answer. So you should be very careful about units actually. So in this question we learned that how to use units. Now look at question number 2. It says that a car travels 30 kilometer. A car travels 30 kilometer at a uniform speed of 40 kilometer per hour, and the next 30 kilometer at uniform speed of 20 kilometer per hour. Find average speed. Okay, so we have to find average speed. Let us take, this is the path of 60 kilometer. Okay, so for first 30 kilometer, its speed is 40 kilometer per hour, and the next 30 kilometer its speed is 20 kilometer per hour. And what you have to find? You have to find average speed. So what is average speed? Average speed is nothing but simply total distance upon total time taken. Okay, so first of all we will calculate the time taken for first part, means in first portion, and we will calculate time taken for another half portion, and then we will add to get total time taken. Okay, so look, for first part. Okay, for first part what is given? Speed is 40 kilometer per hour. Speed is given to you, it is 40 kilometer per hour, and distance is 30 kilometer. Okay, distance is 30 kilometer. Look here, speed is in 40 kilometer per hour, so distance should be in kilometer and time should be in hour. So here we got distance in kilometer and the time we will get, it will be in hour. Okay, so now use the formula. Which formula? Speed formula. Speed is distance upon time. Okay, so speed, now put the values. Speed is 40, distance is 30, and time is, let us take, time is t. Okay, or we can say t1 for path 1. Okay, so here you will get t1 equal to 30 and 40 will come here, so this time will be in hour. Okay, so this is for first part. The time taken will be 30 upon 40 hours, or we can say 3/4 hour. So this will be your time for path 1. Okay, now for next part, distance is again 30 kilometer, but here speed is, let us see, distance is 30 kilometer and speed is 20 kilometer per hour. Speed is 20 kilometer per hour. So we know that speed equal to distance upon time. Okay, what we know? Speed equal to distance upon time. So the distance is given to you, it is 30. Let us take time during this path is t2, and speed is given to you 20. So this will give you T2 equal to 30 upon 20, or we can say T2 will be 3 upon 2. So it will be in hours. Okay. So look here. For first part, the time taken was 3/4 hour, and for next part, the time taken is 3/2 hour. So now we will calculate total time taken. So what we'll do, we will just add. So total time taken is equal to 3/4 plus 3/2 hour. Okay, so take LCM 4, it will be 3 plus 6 hour. So it will give you 9/4 hour. Okay, now what is total distance traveled? Actually we want to calculate average speed now. So average speed is total distance upon total time taken. So total distance is 30 kilometer plus 30 kilometer. So it will give you 60 kilometer, and total time taken is 9/4 hours. So just put the values in average speed formula. So average speed is total distance upon total time. Clear? So average speed is total distance upon total time. Okay, so this will give you total distance is 60 and total time is 9/4. So this will give you 60 upon 9 into 4. So this will give you 240 upon 9. Since distance is in kilometer and time is in hour, so speed will be in kilometer per hour. So this will give you 26.6 kilometer per hour. So the average speed of the car will be 26.6 kilometer per hour. Okay, so let us discuss last question for today. Again, it's a good problem. So first of all, look at the question what is given to you. Now on a 120 kilometer track, a train travels first 30 kilometer at a uniform speed of 30 kilometer per hour. Okay, what is given to you? On a 120 kilometer track, for the first 30 kilometer, a train travels at a uniform speed of 30 kilometer per hour. So how fast must the train travel next 90 kilometer so that the average speed of 60 kilometer per hour will be there for the entire trip? Okay, so what is there? Now suppose this is the 120 kilometer track given to you. Okay, so for 120 kilometer the average speed will be 60 kilometer per hour. Okay, now so what is given to you? For first 30 kilometer the speed was 30 kilometer per hour. So for the remaining 90 kilometers it has asked what should be the speed so that average speed is 60 kilometer per hour. So let us take the speed for the 90 kilometer is x kilometer per hour. Okay, so now so assume first of all, now you have total distance and average speed. So what will calculate? We will calculate total time taken. Okay, now so first of all you are given average speed. Average speed is given to you, it is 60 kilometer per hour. Okay, and total time taken is also given to you. Sorry, total time taken is not given to you, it is to be calculated. Average speed is given to you 60 kilometer per hour, and actually total distance is given to you. Okay, total distance is given to you, it is 120 kilometer. So we can calculate total time taken using the formula average speed. So average speed is nothing but simply total distance traveled upon total time taken. Okay, so average speed is 60, total distance is 120, so total time taken will be you don't know, so it is just take it, write it as total time. Okay, so this will go there and 60 will come downwards, so you have total time will be equal to 120 upon 60. So it will be in hours, because distance is in kilometer and speed is in kilometer per hour. So speed is in kilometer per hour, so distance will be in kilometer and time will be in hour. So you got total time is equal to 2 hours. Okay, mark it as equation 1. So actually this total path of 20, sorry, this total path of 120 kilometer will be covered in 2 hours if average speed is 60 kilometers per hour. Now, so we have got total time taken as 2 hours. Okay, so now what we'll do, we'll separately calculate time taken for this path also, and we'll calculate time taken for this path also. And what we'll do, we'll add up both the time taken and equate that to 2, because the total time taken will be is 2 hours as we have calculated here. Okay, so now calculate for first part. Okay, for first part speed is given to you, it is 30 kilometer per hour, and distance is given to you 30 kilometer. So now speed equal to distance upon time. Okay, so let us take this time is t1. Okay, so speed is given to you, it is 30, distance is 30, time is t1. Okay, so this, the value of t1 will be 31 upon 30. So this will, it implies t1 will be equal to, it is in hour because speed is in kilometer per hour, so t1 will be 1 hour. Okay, so mark it as equation 2. Okay, now what we have assumed for the second part, we have assumed that the speed is x kilometer per hour. Okay, just write it here. For the second part, let us assume that the speed is x kilometer per hour. Okay, so now we'll calculate here time taken. So speed is we have assumed as x kilometer per hour, distance here it is 90 kilometer, and time we have assumed it as t2. Okay, so now use the formula, speed equal to distance traveled upon time taken. Okay, distance traveled upon time taken. So the distance traveled is 90, time taken is, we have assumed it as t2, and speed is x kilometer per hour. Okay, so t2 will go there and x will come in denominator, so t2 will be equal to 90 upon x. So this is the time for second path, and we know that it will be in hour. Okay, so the time taken for the first path was 1 hour, and the time taken for second part was 90 upon x hour, but we know that total time is what is total time? 2 hours. So we know that total time taken will be equal to t1 plus t2, but total time taken we know that it is 2 hours, and time for first part will be 1 hour, and time for second part is 90 upon x hour. Just we have to simply solve this. So 1 will come to this side, so it will be subtracted from 2. So 90 upon x will be equal to 2 minus 1. So 90 upon x will be equal to 1. So x will go there, multiply with 1. So it implies x will be equal to 90 kilometer per hour. So we can write the train should travel the next 90 kilometer distance, the train should travel the next 90 kilometer distance at a speed of 90 किलोमीटर पर आवर. सो अगर आपको कोई प्रॉब्लम हो तो व्हाट यू कैन डू, यू कैन रिवाइंड इट एंड वॉच इट अगेन. दिस विल क्लियर योर डाउट्स. So the first lecture on this motion is completed. In next lecture we will see what is velocity and acceleration. Okay, अगर आपको पसंद आया तो प्लीज़ डोंट फॉरगेट टू लाइक, शेयर एंड सब्सक्राइब. थैंक यू.